Hello humans, this is Retro Rocket Man, wanting to kick off the Halloween season with a Halloween themed video. I found this coffin, it's all made of timber construction, quite lightweight, at my local Kmart store for $4 Aussie. And I think it's going to look quite good done up. Oh, how'd this guy get in here? You're too small, mummy. Maybe another time. It's pretty simple construction, but it's well made and it's got a lot of potential, and I'd like to paint it and decorate it for this Halloween season. So sit back and enjoy. I got this, I think it was a car air freshener, and of course it doesn't work anymore, but it's got this great skull motif. So I'm going to press it into some plasticine, and it should give me a really nice negative impression for casting. And I'm going to do this a couple of times just in case one doesn't come out. At least I've got a couple to choose from. I'm using this product called Sealer Gap. It's an acrylic sealer, gap sealer. And it's like a thick paste, and I'm just going to squeeze this into the molds that I've made, not using too much because I only need to fill the skull area. And I'm just going to carefully smooth that in, hopefully press out any air bubbles that may have formed. So I'm really going to push it in there and work it around. It's a bit messy, but it's cheap and effective, and that's right up my alley. You need to let these dry for a good couple of days to make sure that it's cured all the way through. So the deeper the impression, the longer you really need to leave it. Because if it's still wet or uncured, it's just going to mess up when you try to pull it out of the mould. So I'm carefully peeling it out. Hopefully nothing is still tacky, and it should pop out and leave me with a good duplicate. It's never perfect, but with a bit of paint and a bit of trimming here and there, it's going to come up really nice, I reckon. And as I said before, I've just done two, and I'm just going to pick the best one out of the two. This is from Disneyland. It's from the Pirates of the Caribbean. It's merchandise. It's a necklace pendant. It's got a nice skull motif on it, and I think this would look pretty good decorating the side of my coffin, so I'm making moulds of that as well, with the same procedure as I did with the previous skull. And I've pressed other little bits and pieces in there as well, and I'm just making multiples because I want to adorn the side of my coffin and the top of my coffin lid with these skull motifs. Again, just using the acrylic gap sealer. I'm just using an old Toys R Us membership card. They're pretty much defunct in Australia now, so this is its only real good use. It's a very messy job, but it's well worth it. After a couple of days, I'm carefully removing the cured gap filler, and you can see the nice impression of the medallion right there, amongst other things that I've also made impressions of. This stuff is lightweight and it's very easy to trim and cut, and it's quite durable. So I'm just going to trim this to size, to how I want it, and then I'll be sticking it on the side of the coffin. So I'm just going to arrange a few on the side like so, and I'll be using a PVA glue just to stick it on. Just using my eye, I'm arranging them on the side of the coffin along with a couple of smaller decorative pieces just to fill it all out. I'll repeat the same process on the other side, and when it's all painted, it should come up a treat. So on the lid, I'm positioning the skull that I made earlier from the car air freshener, and I'm just going to stick that central on the lid, along with some other little decorative moulds I've made, just to dress up the coffin lid a bit too, so it's not quite so plain. I'm arranging these in the form of a cross, if you haven't noticed already. Now I've just given it a good primer coat all over, just to make everything more uniform and prepare it for the top coat, which will be a matte black. All acrylic spray paints. I use the Fiddly Bits brand, which is a relatively cheap brand we get here in Australia. And once I've painted it all black, I'm now going in over the decorations, the motifs that I stuck on there, just with a dry brush silver approach, just to highlight and bring out the decorative elements that I've stuck to the coffin in contrast with the black. And I'll just be repeating this on all of them. So I've got a little bit of silver paint on the brush, not too much. I don't want to totally paint it. I still want that black to come through in the recesses and the silver to highlight the higher points. I'm just going to repeat this process on all the motifs that I've stuck to the side and on the top. Just really makes them pop and gives us a nice dramatic contrast to the rest of the coffin. Going with a almost like a Dracula theme, if you like, I'm painting the interior of the coffin a blood red, This will be a really nice dramatic contrast with the black and the silver finish on the exterior. And it'll give us a bit of a vampiric element to the coffin. I also found a little plastic placard that I put a little in-joke label on there, the end. I suppose where we all end up eventually. And it's also the end of the coffin. So just a little pun there. So you can see it's all fully painted now. And the interior is quite red, very dramatic. Just reminds me a lot of Dracula from the old Dracula movies. He had a lot of black with some very vibrant red contrasts. So that's the look I was going for. So there you have it, humans. This is a little $4 coffin that I picked up at Kmart. Very plain, just screaming for attention. And this is my attempt at making it look more coffin-like. So this is Retro Rocket Man. Hope you enjoyed the video. Over and out.